My name is Jim Schnarr. I'm Joanne's brother. I will say at the outset, this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, saying goodbye to my little sister. Joanne Catherine Schnarr was born in Noranda, Quebec on June the 5th in 1942. My parents were very happy to have a little girl after having two boys. She was special. At gatherings of my father's family, there were 11 cousins. 10 boys and one girl, Joanne. She didn't particularly like this situation because it meant that she had to spend time with the women instead of running around getting into trouble with the boys. One of my earliest memories of Joanne as a toddler was when my brother and I were running around the house and Joanne tripped and fell on the hot furnace register and burned her leg. We all sat on the living room rug and cried. In our early teenage years, my brother and I formed a ball team of local guys and to play against other teams from parts of Noranda. Joanne put herself on the team and was the only girl baseball player in town. Even then, she was very determined. In our teenage years, my brother and I showed up and Joanne wasn't home, my father would say, "Go find her." If we said, "We don't know where she is," that was not the right answer. We were sent anyway, out to track her down. I'm pretty sure she didn't appreciate this. Joanne was a very good student and excelled in math, winning the provincial gold medal and going on to complete nursing school in 2 years, cutting 1 year off the 3-year program. Instead of staying near home after she graduated, her adventuresome spirit took her to Taber, Alberta. And when there wasn't enough action there, she moved to Uranium City. There she met her husband, Dick Field, who was a pilot for Eldorado Aviation. She was very proud of her two children, David and Teresa, and supported them in their life choices. She was thrilled to have two grandchildren, Zoe and Malcolm, and thought the world of them. Joanne enjoyed returning to nursing after taking a 21-year absence and became nursing supervisor at the Cross Cancer Institute. Her adventuresome spirit stayed with her all her life. She loved to travel and passed that on to David and Teresa and then on to her granddaughter Zoe, who just returned from South Korea. I'm sure that Malcolm has also inherited that trait from her and his parents. When we talked, she would say, "Jim, you have to go to Cambodia," or "Jim, you have to go to Myanmar." Every place she visited was special, and she embraced the culture. She always wanted to go to Bali, and after a failed attempt on our part, she managed to go there with her granddaughter Zoe. We were thrilled to travel with Joanne in Alaska, and she was always up to visit whatever place we might be spending the winter. Joanne was a lot of fun and an easy house guest. Whatever we wanted to do, she was on board. Whatever we wanted to eat, she was there. Many of her interests included gardening, painting, biking, and of course her love of cats. She was an accomplished artist, and we're proud to have some of her paintings. Later on, she developed a love for opera, and trips to New York were sure to include live performances. Joanne was a very spiritual woman and continued her self-learning through seminars and books. She was at peace with herself, and that was reflected in her quiet and strong spirit. She battled cancer on and off for the last 15 years and handled it with grace and dignity. Last year, she joined us with David at a family gathering in her hometown of Noranda. In true Joanne fashion, she quietly made sure I got all the stories correct. I could sense that Joanne was not herself during the initial stages of COVID, but hoped it was due to the uncertainty in the world and the isolation that was imposed on everyone. Sadly, her cancer had returned, and she was again faced with a battle. She was lucky to have her children at her side at the end, and we're all happy to know that she is no longer in pain. We will miss her quiet, gentle spirit in our lives. We were all better for having shared a space in her life.